The world is changing fast. Economic instability, food shortages, supply chain breakdowns, 2025 could be the year everything collapses. Will you be ready? If not, you're already too late. Stick around until the end, because the final item on this list is something 99% of people forget, yet it could save your life. 1. Water, the lifeline of survival. Imagine waking up one morning to discover that the water flowing from your tap is no longer safe to drink. In a world where natural disasters, contamination, and infrastructure collapse are becoming all too common, water is not just a resource, it is your lifeline. Every person should plan on having at least 50 to 100 gallons stored per individual, ensuring that when the crisis hits, you have a reserve that can sustain you until help arrives or conditions improve. In these uncertain times, long-term water storage in heavy-duty barrels or tanks is non-negotiable. But storage alone is not enough. Purification becomes critical when water sources are compromised. You must invest in reliable water filtration systems that can eliminate bacteria, viruses, and other contaminants. Advanced portable systems, reminiscent of the Life Straw or Berkey models, provide a critical line of defense when natural water sources become polluted. Supplement this with water purification tablets and bleach, which offer immediate, albeit temporary, solutions for disinfection. Picture a scenario where your neighborhood's supply is suddenly cut off by an unforeseen disaster and panic sets in. Only those who have taken the necessary precautions will be able to calmly secure safe water for themselves and their loved ones. Every drop matters, and preparedness in water storage and purification can mean the difference between survival and despair. 2. Food shortage. Consider the harsh reality of food shortages and skyrocketing prices that could transform your local grocery store into a battleground. In 2025, the food supply chain is more vulnerable than ever before, and communities across the nation are already experiencing disruptions. It is imperative to stockpile shelf-stable foods that can last for months, even years, ensuring you have sustenance when the stores run empty. Canned meats such as spam, tuna, and chicken provide protein and can be easily stored without refrigeration. Combine these with staples like rice, beans, and pasta to build a balanced diet capable of weathering extended periods of scarcity. Freeze-dried meals from reputable brands offer an alternative that retains flavor while ensuring maximum longevity. Beyond these staples, emergency food rations such as meals ready to eat, MREs, and survival food bars offer a compact, calorie-dense option that can be carried on the go during evacuation or in dire circumstances. Additionally, consider learning the art of food preservation through vacuum sealing, mylar bagging, and the use of oxygen absorbers. Imagine the chaos when your regular food sources vanish overnight. Only those who have secured a diversified, non-perishable food supply will have the resilience to face a crisis unbowed. This is not a drill, it is a call to action to fortify your pantry against the looming specter of food scarcity. 3. Protection and defense. When society begins to crumble under the weight of widespread panic and dwindling resources, the threat posed by desperate individuals will escalate dramatically. In such times, the concept of home defense becomes more than a precaution, it is a necessity for survival. The reality is stark. As food supplies and essential resources dwindle, law and order may break down, leaving you vulnerable to those driven by fear and desperation. Investing in reliable home defense weapons such as shotguns, handguns, or AR-15 rifles can provide a formidable deterrent against potential intruders. It is not about aggression but about having the means to protect your family and secure your shelter when chaos erupts on the streets. For those uncomfortable with lethal measures, non-lethal options like pepper spray, bear spray, or stun guns offer a viable alternative, ensuring you can incapacitate threats without resorting to deadly force. Moreover, enhancing your home's physical security through robust deadbolts, motion sensors, and strategically placed security cameras creates an environment where any unauthorized attempt to breach your sanctuary is met with immediate resistance. Imagine the terror of being surrounded with no means to fight back. The only recourse is preparation. By taking decisive steps to arm and secure your household, you send a clear message that your family will not be an easy target in the storm of societal collapse. 4. Power and energy independence. In a world where the grid can fail without warning, the ability to generate your own power is not a luxury, it is a survival imperative. The threat of a nationwide blackout is no longer confined to the realm of science fiction. Natural disasters, cyber attacks, and systemic failures have all contributed to an environment where reliance on traditional power sources has become increasingly precarious. Solar-powered generators offer a reliable solution, turning sunlight into the energy required to keep essential devices running even when the lights go out. Brands known for durability and efficiency have designed systems that are easy to set up and maintain, ensuring that in the event of a grid failure, your family will still have access to critical electricity for communications, refrigeration, and emergency lighting. Complement your solar backup with hand-crank radios and flashlights that guarantee you remain connected to emergency broadcasts and can navigate safely in the dark. Equally important is the need for backup fuel and heating sources. Stockpiling propane, firewood, or alternative fuels, along with a safe, indoor-certified propane heater, prepares you for those bitter nights when the cold could become as deadly as the darkness. Picture the desolation of an energy-starved home in the dead of winter. The difference between survival and surrender could hinge on your commitment to energy independence. 5. Medical and first aid. When disaster strikes, the infrastructure you once relied on for healthcare can crumble, leaving you to fend for yourself in a harsh and unforgiving environment. Hospitals, overwhelmed by the influx of casualties, may be unable to offer timely care, forcing you to rely on your own preparedness. As such, assembling a comprehensive first aid kit and stocking up on essential medical supplies must be a top priority. Imagine a situation where a minor injury escalates into a life-threatening condition because help was not available. A well-stocked trauma kit that includes tourniquets, quick clot dressings, and sutures can make the difference between a treatable wound and a fatal injury. Beyond trauma care, having a sufficient supply of antibiotics and emergency medications is critical when infectious diseases spread unchecked in the absence of proper medical facilities. For those with chronic conditions, ensuring an ample reserve of prescription medications is non-negotiable. In addition to these life-saving supplies, consider the importance of sanitation and hygiene. When access to clean water is limited and proper waste disposal systems have broken down, portable toilets, biodegradable waste bags, and disinfectants become essential to prevent outbreaks of disease. The stark reality is that in a crisis, your ability to provide immediate, effective medical care could be the deciding factor between life and death. 6. Communication and navigation. In a crisis, the collapse of modern communication networks can leave you isolated and uninformed at the worst possible moment. When cell towers fall silent and the internet goes dark, the only lifeline you have to the outside world is through reliable, non-digital means. Emergency radios, particularly those that can be powered by hand-crank mechanisms, are indispensable for receiving critical updates from NOAA and local authorities. These radios become your window into a world that is rapidly descending into chaos, providing vital information about weather conditions, safe zones, and governmental advisories. Coupled with this, ham radios serve as a crucial tool for long-distance communication, allowing you to connect with like-minded individuals and emergency services even when conventional channels are down. In parallel, navigating an environment where digital maps and GPS systems may suddenly become obsolete requires traditional navigation tools. Physical topographic maps and military-grade compasses are not relics of the past but essential instruments that ensure you can traverse unfamiliar terrain without relying on technology that might fail. Imagine the isolation of being stranded in a landscape devoid of digital guidance. where every misstep could lead you further away from safety. By preparing with robust communication and navigation tools, you maintain a vital connection to the world around you, ensuring that you can receive critical information and find your way even when modern conveniences have been stripped away. 7. Tools and survival gear. In the midst of chaos, your ability to adapt, repair, and defend becomes your most valuable asset. The right tools are not merely conveniences, they are essential instruments that empower you to take control of your environment when disaster strikes. Multi-purpose tools, such as high-quality multi-tools and fixed-blade survival knives, serve as extensions of your will to survive. These instruments can be used to build shelter, secure perimeters, and even prepare food when conventional resources are unavailable. In times when everyday items become scarce and self-sufficiency is paramount, the versatility of a well-crafted tool can make all the difference. Fire-starting gear is equally critical in a survival scenario. Without electricity, the ability to generate fire becomes indispensable. Waterproof matches, reliable ferro rods, and lighters provide a means to cook food, purify water, and offer warmth during freezing nights. The ability to ignite a flame in adverse conditions is not just a matter of convenience, it is a matter of survival. Picture the scenario where you find yourself isolated in the wilderness with no means to secure heat or prepare a meal. Without these tools, your prospects for survival would diminish rapidly. Investing in a comprehensive set of survival tools and fire-starting equipment is an investment in your resilience and ability to thrive under even the most dire circumstances. 8. Shelter and clothing. When disaster strikes, having a secure shelter and the proper clothing is critical to protect you from the elements and provide a stable foundation from which you can rebuild. In times of crisis, emergency shelters and blankets become your lifeline, a temporary refuge that offers warmth and security when the familiar comforts of home are no longer available. Mylar emergency blankets and high-quality sleeping bags can mean the difference between freezing in the cold night and maintaining enough body heat to survive. In addition to temporary shelters, investing in durable clothing is essential. Tactical boots, thermal socks, and weatherproof jackets are not just items on a shopping list, they are your first line of defense against a hostile environment. When conventional infrastructure fails and exposure to harsh weather becomes a daily reality, the quality of your clothing directly impacts your ability to withstand the elements. The simple act of layering can protect you from hypothermia and frostbite, conditions that can quickly escalate into life-threatening emergencies. Imagine being caught outside in a severe storm without adequate gear. The cold, the wind, and the relentless precipitation would leave you vulnerable and exposed. By prioritizing both emergency shelter and robust clothing, you create a defensive barrier that safeguards your body and preserves your strength during times of crisis. 9. The most overlooked survival item, mental preparedness and survival knowledge. In a crisis, the most critical asset you possess is not physical gear or supplies, it is your mental fortitude and knowledge. When disaster strikes, fear can overwhelm even the best prepared individual, leading to paralysis or rash decisions that jeopardize survival. Mental preparedness involves rigorous training, continuous learning, and the cultivation of a calm, strategic mindset that enables you to act decisively under pressure. Survival knowledge, acquired through trusted resources like comprehensive survival guides and hands-on training in first aid, firearms handling, and self-defense, forms the bedrock of your ability to endure prolonged hardship. Imagine facing a scenario where every moment counts, and panic threatens to cloud your judgment. Only those who have mentally and physically prepared for the worst will be able to navigate the chaos with clarity. This preparation is not merely about stockpiling equipment or supplies, it is about investing in yourself through education, practice, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Books such as the SAS Survival Guide and Prepper's Blueprint offer invaluable insights, while practical training ensures that theoretical knowledge can be translated into effective action. In the end, Survival hinges on the strength of your mind as much as on your physical resources, making mental preparedness the most overlooked yet crucial element in any survival strategy. If you have listened to every word and absorbed the critical strategies outlined in this guide, you are already ahead of the curve. You understand that survival in 2025 requires more than basic supplies, it demands a deep, unyielding commitment to preparedness. But there is one final piece of information that could mean the difference between thriving and merely surviving in the face of catastrophe. In our next video, we will reveal the biggest mistakes preppers make, errors that even the most dedicated individuals can fall prey to if they are not vigilant. This information is essential to refine your strategy and ensure that every measure you take contributes to your long-term safety. I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because staying informed is your first line of defense. Like and share this video with anyone who values their safety, and leave a comment below letting us know which item on your prepper checklist is non-negotiable. The storm is coming, and only those who are truly prepared will weather it. Stay tuned, stay vigilant, and prepare for what lies ahead.